Yo, what is going on guys, Flashverse here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 8, and this will be a theory video pretty much talking about the back half of The Flash Season 8 and what we should expect. So yeah, we have obviously wrapped up graphic novel number 5, which is the Armageddon event, and it was hands down the best storyline we've had on the show in a very long time. It's made a huge redemption to the show, and hopefully the back half of the season can continue as strong as Armageddon was. But yeah, we are currently on a mid-season break until March 9th, which is actually on Wednesdays now, no longer Tuesdays. So yeah, The Flash will be on a new time slot where we'll be kicking off with episode 6 on Wednesday, March 9th. But when The Flash returns, we will be having Interlude Part 2. So episodes 6, 7, and 8 will all be interlude episodes. If you guys remember from last season, those were the Cisco, Cecile, and Allegra filler episodes. It's basically those side character filler episodes, in which the Cisco episode was pretty good, but overall, the interlude part of The Flash Season 7 was a huge flop and it was awful, which does get me very apprehensive for Interlude Part 2, but hopefully they have learned their lesson from last season and they actually find ways to make this interlude much better. Episode 6 seems to be a lot of fun. It does have time travel, it has a lot of speedster stuff. It has a lot of returning characters as well, but I'm really looking forward to see if they will be fixing this interlude with episode 7 and 8. But then after the interlude, we will be having 2 more graphic novels. So we will be having graphic novel number 6 from episodes 9 to 13, and then graphic novel number 7, which will be episodes 14 to 18, each with new storylines and new villains. However, from Eric Wallace, we do know that some of the events of Armageddon and the timeline changes created from it will ripple onto the back half of the season, so I am very interested to see how that comes into play as well. There's a lot of stuff which I'll be theorizing during this video about the back half of The Flash Season 8, so yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it. But before I go over anything, however, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. Okay, so firstly, we do know that Barry got his level up speed back once he's restored the timeline, and during the finale, we got to see how incredibly powerful Barry has become at this point. We have seen him use a variety of abilities. He's even used a Speed Force construct, where he's literally used lightning to block Despero's flame. It was really cool to see. He's used speed mirages as well. He's used like tons of lightning blasts, and I loved it. It just shows how far he's evolved and how much he's evolved compared to before, and how much more confident he's become. He now knows what he's doing, which is something I really love. So yeah, whether this means that we will be getting more powerful villains going into the back half of season 8, I'm not sure about that, because they won't be able to make the Flash very overpowered for every single episode. They're gonna have to nerf him in some way, in some episodes at least. But hopefully they do keep this speed boost consistent. Hopefully he's as powerful for the back half of the season as well. But it'll be really cool to see a villain challenge our Scarlet Speedster this way, just like Despero did. In regards to who the next big bad is, we do not know yet. We do know that we'll be having 2 other graphic novels after the interlude, so we'll be having 2 different big bads. All we really know is that Eric Wallace said something along the lines of, after Despero, we will be having one of the most frightening villains we've ever had on the show, where we will be dipping our toes into the world of horror and the supernatural. Obviously, I am paraphrasing because he did say this way back during summer, so I wouldn't remember it word for word. It would be very cool if it is Red Death, who's the main villain for graphic novel number 6, because not only would he be able to challenge Barry in terms of speed, because Red Death is also a speedster, but we haven't had this really evil threat, mass murdering villain since Zoom, and I would really love to get this darker tone with the Flash once again. It would be really cool to see that. Obviously, they're not going to do the Red Death from the comics. They would do like a whole other take on Red Death if they were to bring him into the show. We do know that they did mention a girl in red during Armageddon Part 4, and since Batwoman gave Iris some Speed Force dampening gun, that does lead you to believe that this villain or whoever it is some sort of a speedster. That could potentially be a Red Death teaser as well. Maybe this new Red Death is a female, if it is Red Death, or it could be some other female speedster as well. So yeah, if we do not get Red Death as a main villain, it's possible that we could get this evil female speedster, and whoever this girl in red is, that could end up being the main villain for graphic novel number 6. We do also know through Eric Wallace that Reverse Flash will be having some sort of a storyline post Armageddon as well. Now, during Armageddon, we have obviously seen him ask for Barry's help because he was getting erased from existence, and the only way he was able to be saved was to get rid of his speed permanently. And eventually, Barry does save Thawne by extracting the negative speed force out of his body, but this in turn leaves Thawne furious because he claims that his speed is his life, and Barry pretty much took that away from him. Now, it does make sense that Thawne will be having some sort of a storyline this season. If you really think about it, Bart Thawne has always some trick up his sleeve. He's always that type of character. He's always been established as this incredibly intelligent mastermind that surely has a plan regardless of the outcome. Whether this plan is in the long term or in the short term, he always has a plan. Thawne is just an incredibly patient character, so whatever is happening over here, I am sure Thawne has a plan. For example, when he got stranded in the year 2000 after Nora Allen's murder, he knew exactly what to do in order to get back to his own time period. He knew he had to disguise as Harrison Wells, and he knew that he needed to explode the particle accelerator a lot earlier than intended to create the Flash and make his plan execute quickly. Obviously, he failed, but he still had that backup plan. The same could be said during season 5, where his plan has literally worked. He's literally executed this whole genius plan just so he could get Cicada's dagger taken away from him, and it worked. So if Thawne had a backup plan for all of those, there is no way Thawne doesn't have a backup plan for this. So what I think is actually going on over here is that Thawne knew that he needed to get his speed taken away before he even asked Barry for help. He knew that was the only way where he could be saved. He already planned it through, and he knows exactly how to get his speed back. In regards to how he gets his speed back, I have absolutely no clue because he's locked up in Argus. He could be pulling the strings in the next graphic novel, and once again he could manipulate the timeline so that he gets his speed back. Obviously, creating an artificial negative speed force is another option, but again, he has no access to a lab or anything like that. Maybe he could somehow get his past self to time travel to 2021, and that breaks him out of prison, and they could work together to get his speed back. Another possibility, this is just going off the wall right now, but maybe Thawne and Bloodwork could work together because they're both locked up in Argus. So maybe Bloodwork helps Thawne escape, and then Thawne's able to get his speed back after that. I don't know, I can't really think of any other outcome because he's literally locked up, so I am very interested to see what this Reverse Flash storyline is all about. Now, another thing we know about the back half of The Flash Season 8 is that the events of Armageddon will ripple onto the next upcoming episodes. We did get our first hint of that during the episode 6 promo, where we have seen a plethora of timeline changes, which Bart and Nora will be working together to essentially fix those timeline changes. We do know the other timeline changes will definitely be taking place as well. For example, Ronnie Raymond will be returning for episode 11 of this season, which is part of graphic novel number 6. Now, whether this is a time travel episode, I'm not entirely sure about that, but this is most likely going to be one of those timeline changes where Ronnie Raymond is perhaps alive. Maybe something happened to him during the whole singularity in season 1 which stopped him from arriving before. Who knows, but as I said, this could end up being one of those time travel episodes as well. Now, next up, we do know that we will be having a new character joining the show, that of Phantom Girl, and the way she will be playing into the show will be through an investigation which Iris comes across, so that is pretty interesting, and her character description goes as followed. After years of successfully hiding in plain sight, reluctant teenager Tinya Wazer's life is turned upside down when she becomes the subject of Iris West Allen's latest investigation for CCC Media. Soon, Tinya is thrust into a dangerous world she never knew existed. Now, in regards to this character, I don't think that she will be having a main role or anything like that. I think that she will be having that, Sue Dearborn type role where she will just be a recurring character every once in a while. But lastly, we do know that we will be going more in depth with Iris's time sickness storyline, which will now be an arc taking place for the remainder of the season. They did kind of touch on it during Armageddon, but now we're going to go more in depth with it going forward, and I am very interested to see where that all goes as well. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below who you guys want to see as the next main villain for The Flash Season 8. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.